channel. My name is Rebecca, and this is a crafty channel. We talk about cross stitch, crochet, sewing, quilting, anything else that's crafty that I like to do. I want to show you. And this is kind of the end of July. This is the last Sunday of July. I would do this next weekend, but it's my birthday, so I wanted to go ahead and get this end of July wrap up out here for you guys. I have a few things to show today. We have some cross stitch, we have crochet, we have quilting, and some sewing projects to kind of show you. So let's get into, we're going to get into, I am part of the Summer of Granny Hobbies WIPGO with Sarah Hart's and Black Mountain Yarn Shop. This is my WIPGO board, and so far I've worked on the Garden of Quilts WIP, the strawberry pouches, a sewing project, a Christmas stitch, a 9-patch quilt top, and a patriotic stitch. So those are the ones I've worked on so far. I think I showed Garden of Quilts last time. I haven't worked on it since then, so I'm not going to show that one. Let's do, okay, so here's where we're going to break it up, this video. We're going to break up this video by cross stitch first, then crochet, then sewing and quilting. I think that might be best. Okay, so let me show you some finishes. I do have some finishes. This is my first strawberry finish. This is the 250th Berry by Erica Michaels, I think is who it was. It's a free pattern. I got this free pattern off Fat Quarter Shop. And this is my first strawberry finish, and I absolutely love it. It wasn't as complex as I thought it would be. The strawberry top, I would probably do a little bit different next time, but hey, that's okay. You're learning as you go. And I just put a little piece of this green ribbon, put a pin in there, and called it good. But I just love it. It's so cute. And then my second fully finished cross stitch. I actually finished this piece January, but I wanted a very specific frame to put it in. And I finally found that frame. A couple Saturdays ago, we went to an antique place and I saw it, and here it is. Isn't that the cutest thing? If you don't know, I am a huge Queen Elizabeth II fan, and this is her portrait in this little cool frame, and I think it's just perfect. And I have a small little collection of Queen Elizabeth, like I have an embroidery piece over there and this one, and I actually have another pattern of Queen Elizabeth that I'm going to put over there by my ironing board. But I love this. I think this is exactly what I wanted, and it's perfect. And the frame was like $2, $3, if that. Love her. Those are my cross stitch finishes. Let's see. So just go through the calendar here. So I keep track of all of my projects on my iPad. And this is I think I've shown this before. It's just a calendar template from Fat Quarter Shop at the beginning of the year, and they do it all like this. And I like to put them like here, so I can mark down. It's kind of like my digital book of days, if you've seen those. And I try to keep track of what project I work on it. They're color coded, so blue is cross stitch, yellow is crochet, pink is sewing and quilting. And I put my finished projects in pictures there, and then I keep track of the WIPGO. So it's just like a nice little tracker. So I finished the strawberry. That was my first finish of the month. And then that. So I have some other finishes, but they're not cross stitch. So let's see. I worked on Sugar, American Doll, Animal Crackers Sugar, and that was hilarious. Animal Cracker Sugar. I think she's in, nope. Where is she? I think she's in this one actually. You know, I thought about getting everything prepped and pulled out and whatever, but I was like, nah. So I got a lot of good outlining done on this one. For this WIPGO, or for this, was it a WIPGO? No, it's just this is one of my Christmas in July stitches. So when I first started, I only basically had this tail and this one line right here. So everything over here and some of this fill in and all this, I got done for my one of my Christmas. I'm doing a different Christmas WIP in the month of July, and this was one of them. And I got a lot of good outlining in, and basically it's like trying to get it all outlined and then fill in. So like all this is fill in, this is fill in, this is fill in. The green right here, I don't know if you can really see that. That says Christmas sweater, like color work, and his whole green sweater's like that. So I wanted to try to get some fill in ready, so when I start on this green, I can go back and forth. Like when I get too much of the counting up on the green sweater color work, I can do some fill in, and then when I get done with fill in, I can go back and do the sweater and do some more brain work. But I'm really proud with the progress I got done on this guy. So I'm glad I took a week to work on him. So that's Sugar. Then what else did I work on? I worked on Hello Cardinal by Teresa Kogut. This is a Christmas in July WIP. And I actually started over. I was working on I had this done last year, or I had worked on it. I started it last year, and it was my first time working on Lagana, and there was just some rookie mistakes, and it wasn't too far gone to where I felt like it would have been a waste of my time. And I really wanted to do this piece right. So I just restarted, and it was totally fine. And I actually started in a different place this time. This is the top left, and this is what I have done so far. I'll try to put pictures of what the pattern looks like somewhere when I'm showing these, but I love how it's turning out so far. This is Santa, this is the snowman's hat in his pocket, and I love it. I'm glad I decided to restart him. So there's that one. Then I worked on I think this one was a Granny Hobbies WIPGO and a Christmas in July piece, so I actually worked on this one more than the rest. And it is the Prairie Schooler 12 Days of Santa, and I almost have him done. This is a whole new start, like the day 4. I had nothing done, so this wasn't a WIP per se, it was more of a start. But this is what I have done. So I need to finish this bird, obviously finish Santa, and then he has one more bird on his shoulder. So I could have finished this one, but I just kind of was over it by the time I did something different. So my original goal was to have all 12 of these done by this Christmas year, because I actually got this last July. I started this series last July, and it was one of the first things I did as a new stitcher, and it's just not gonna happen, which is fine. I'm just gonna take my time and enjoy it. It's not a race. Just enjoy the moment. Okay, my next one, I worked on that one a lot. So the next one that I just started a couple of days ago, actually, is I don't have a lot done on this because I just started. I've only worked on it twice maybe. And this is a new start. This is a Christmas in July new start. And it's by Lindy Stitches. It's God Rest You Merry Gentlemen. And I love this. I got it at Jingle Ball. And I think it's just the cutest pattern. I'll have to show you. I don't know where my, oh, there it is, okay. I've probably worked on this twice, like 2 sit-down sessions. But this is what I have so far. Well, this one's completely done. I just gotta do some back stitching on his face. This little gentleman. I think this is gonna be so cute. I love the concept. Like, God Rest You Merry Gentlemen, and there's 3 gentlemen sleeping. I think that is just the cleverest thing. I like Stephanie with Lindy Stitches. I like her humor and her like little, I don't know. I just really like this one. I think it's super fun. And I love the colors. There's a lot of jewel tone colors, which is something that I don't like first go to. Like, that's not usually my first instinct to go to jewel tone colors. But it's gonna look so cool when it's done. And I don't have much like that, so love that one. And then let's see what else. I actually, about 2 days ago, they pulled for the summer granny hobbies. This is what was pulled on my WIPGO, is the Miss Prim's Betsy Ross pattern. And this is just a big mama jama. I don't know where the needle went with this. I have these needle minders and the needles still fall off, but that's okay. So I think I've worked on this once since Friday. And I did, what did I do? I worked on some blue. I worked on this green stripe going up here. I finished her arms. So both of her arms are finished. I worked on a little bit of blue up here, I think is where I got. So not a lot has been worked on this yet, but I still have like 5 more days to work on her for my WIPGO. So this is just a ton of fill-in. I just need to, I think what I'm gonna do, I say this now, but then it probably will change. But I think what I'm gonna do for this week, working on this WIPGO, is just really focus on filling in, maybe. Here's my thing. I don't mind a good fill-in, but I also want to like not just do fill-in the whole time. So like that's why I did a little bit of fill-in up here, and then I went and did this long green line. So what I think I might do is try to focus more on just filling in. I think that would be a bigger impact. We'll see. We'll see. I might do that. I think I'm gonna work on this one today, actually. And God Rest You Merry Gentlemen. That's the 2 I have this week. Okay, let's talk about something exciting for cross stitch. I watch Leah Bloom. I think her is Blooming Stitcher, and then Mrs. Jones Stitches, which is Holly. And first of all, I love Holly. Yeah, I love both of them. They're fantastic. But Holly lives in Oklahoma City, which is I lived in Oklahoma City for about 12 years, and I love it. But they started a Blackbird Academy stitch along, and it's a monthly stitch along for it's starting in August, which is like next week. And they're doing themes each month. My house shoe. They're doing themes each month of Blackbird designs, and it's a stitch along. And I don't own any Blackbird design patterns, and you know, I've never stitched a Blackbird design. I think they're pretty. So in the spirit of trying a different designer, starting something new, and you know I love a good theme, their theme is any Blackbird design that has alphabet in it, letters. So I found I joined their Facebook group, which you can join their Facebook group, and I found somebody had a pattern that was free, and I'll show it here. It's really simple, really pretty. I don't have anything like this at all. I don't have any. I think I have one sampler pattern from Teresa Kogut being a part of her Patreon, and I didn't stitch it. So I don't have any just like classic simple alphabet. So that's what I'm gonna do, and I'm so excited about it. So let me give you the details on what I'm doing. So here's my little project card. The fabric I'm using is Fiber on a Whim parchment. Oh, I dropped my card. Fiber on a Whim parchment 18th count Ada. It's just a scrap of a piece that I've had. And then the project is called, or the project name, the pattern name is called First Offering. And you see that it's all in the same floss color. So I actually had a lot of this left over from my Blessing sampler in January. And it's the Gentle Arts espresso bean. So I want to do most of the color of that pattern in this like blacky brown. It's more brown than black, but it's still that dark color. But then I've always wanted to do this, so I'm going to do it. I'm going to stitch my initials RM in this blue color because it's one of my favorite colors. It's a DMC 334, and I just love this color, and I think it would be a nice little contrast. So that's the plan as of right now. Okay, so it's part of the Blackbird Academy sale for August 2026. The free pattern from the-Gearys, GEARYS.com. I'll put it down in the description box. It's fans of Blackbird design. So I'm really excited to start that. I really wanted to start it before August, to be honest with you, but I have other things that I told myself I would stitch on, so that's what we're gonna do. That's all the cross stitch stuff. I think what we're gonna do now is go into, I have three quilting sewing things. The first one is this patchwork project bag that I made. It's a foam stabilizer, and let me see. This is the inside. And this patchwork is actually extra fabric that I had from the quilt top that I finished, which that was also part of the Granny Hobbies WIPGO, was to finish that quilt top. I'll insert a picture here because it's super tall. It's a twin size. I don't think I can fit it in this frame right now, but I'll put a picture here. And I've always wanted to do a 9-patch quilt, and I wanted it to be like busy hodgepodge, that look of a hodgepodge. But the fabric line, I got 2 jelly rolls, I think. One was the Agatha Road, and one was, I don't remember, Gatherings something. I'll have to look, but I don't remember. But it's these, there's 2 different fabric line jelly rolls in this. And I actually had to get I actually had 3. I had to get 2 jelly rolls and then a fat quarter of like this gray, and there's this black, just kind of like like worn solids, you can see. So I always wanted to make a 9-patch quilt, so that's what I did. And I kind of I didn't have a pattern, I just went with it. I learned a lot. That was one of my first like big quilts, and I started that last fall, and I wanted to have it done by this fall, and I think I will have it completely done by this fall. And that was one of the first like big quilts I'd done, and there was no pattern. It was just like, I can figure this out. How hard could it be? I can figure this out. This is my blueberry iced coffee. I made my own. I'm obsessed with blueberry coffees right now. I made my own blueberry syrup, and it's fantastic. That's my fixation right now, is blueberry coffee, and I don't know why, but I like it. So we have made blueberry syrup iced coffee, ice, and then you take your creamer and put a little bit of the blueberry syrup in the creamer and froth that baby. It's delicious. Okay. The next sewing project I have is, this was part of my WIPGO as well. And this is one of those things where it's like, when you started it, you were so gung-ho, you were gonna make a bunch of it and just like go for it. And now you wish you wouldn't have done that. A few months ago, I was making a lot of sewing product to sell. And I was making strawberry pouches. And I'll show you a couple of that I've made. And I went and bought a fat quarter of red fabric, and I was like, I'm gonna turn this entire fat quarter into pouches. And so my WIPGO was to do as much as I could until I couldn't do more without going to the store and buying more product. So here's some of them. I mean, they're obviously, this is the inside lining. So there's 4 different kinds. I mean, there's just like the solid red, the tiny plaid, the big plaid, and then I thought there was another one, but I guess not. Oh yeah, these striped ones. Hold on. Let me show you. So here's like the striped. So I got them all done as much as I could without having to go to the store and buy more materials. So now what I've did is I made a boo-boo, and I was supposed to only cut, because if you can see here, let me just take this one out. You can see here, so what you do is you outline your piece, you cut a piece, and then to add the zipper, you have to cut this piece in half, and then you have 2 separate, and then you attach the zipper, right? Okay, so that's where we're at. I was only supposed to do that for half of my stack to cut them. I was on a roll and I did them all. So now I don't have a back piece to make a pouch. And I went to one Hobby Lobby in the other day, and they didn't have that fabric that is all these pieces. They did, and so I need more. I need a whole nother fat quarter of this fabric to finish these pouches, or they're just the zippers. And I also need more lining fabric. And I went to one Hobby Lobby the other day, and they didn't have that fabric that I need to finish these. So I might just be stuck with a bunch of front zippers. If I can't find this fat quarter bundle, I'm going to have to find another fabric to finish these pouches. So that's annoying. Anyway. Okay. Let's talk about crochet. So you can kind of, this is my yarn basket of all the things that, yarn balls that are smaller that I've used for other projects. And then one of the bigger drawers is just full of yarn skeins that I haven't used. There's some, like there's two yarns here that I haven't used, but they're small enough to be in that basket. So I had a yarn that I was gifted, and it wasn't truly my style, but I wanted to use it because I didn't want it to just sit there, and then I'm like, I'm not going to use it because I don't like it. So I had one of these water bottle things that I got from one of my high school friends. That was probably 15 years ago. And I know in England they're huge. Everybody has water bottles. But I like the electric blanket anyway. What are they called? Heating pad. So I took this self-striping yarn that I was gifted, and I just went ahead and made a cover for this. Will I ever use this water bottle? I've maybe used it twice in the last 15 years. But I wanted to use this yarn because I knew I wasn't going to use it if I didn't use it for something very specific. So this is what I made. Yay. There's that. I am currently reading Little House on the Prairie, and it's a softcover book. Me and my mom are actually reading this book because this show on Netflix came out. And since it's a soft cover book, I wanted to make a book cover for it. So this is again, this was actually some yarn I made when, this yarn was actually used when I had crocheted a cardigan a few years ago. And so I thought, let me just use some of this. It's obviously color changing yarn. And I just did a granny square. And then when it got wide enough to the book, I just did extra lines and then seamed it here and then made a scalloped top rim. So is it like something I would sell, like with the colors and stuff? Maybe not. You know, it does the purpose of what I wanted. I wanted a book cover for this book, and I wanted to use this yarn because I've already used it, and it's not enough to use for a garment. So I'm like, let's just use the stuff we have to make the things that we need. Anyway, what else? Oh, I just lost all train of thought. And where I live, there's a craft collective, and it's fantastic. They offer a massive range of classes. I think I've said this before in previous videos, and they are great. They are fantastic. They offer, like tomorrow I'm going to an open play of Mahjong. I've never played Mahjong in my entire life. I don't even know what to do, but it's fantastic. They offer needlepoint, they offer resin mosaics, they offer sewing, Cricut classes. I mean, it's insane. Like, they're doing awesome stuff. And anyways, I've taught a couple of classes there, and we are starting a new class with me August 5th, and I'm already starting on, you know, I've already bought the pattern of what we're doing, and I've already started working on the Afghan. We're doing a vintage Christmas Ohio Star Afghan blanket, and it's red and white. It's so cute. I'll send you a picture here. But I started working on the squares because there's some squares that I've never done before. So here's some solid squares, right? And then you have these, which makes the Ohio Star, right? So I wanted to do these a few times to make sure I understood enough to teach it. So these are really cool. I'm loving the quilt block crochet look right now. Like, there's a few of them that I really want to try. But I thought I wanted to do something I wanted to do a Christmas craft, and with crochet, and when you're making an Afghan, you need a lot of time to do that. And especially when you're teaching people, they need time to have it, to understand it, to get it together, to put it together. It's a big blanket, it's huge. So we're starting in August to have a Christmas blanket done by December, and I think that would be great. What else was I gonna say? I'm just excited about it. And anyway, so I've got 3 of these done. I just started a couple of days ago, and one thing I decided to do on this project that I don't normally do consistently, but I want to do consistently on this blanket, is once I finish a square, take the 30 seconds and weave in your ends and have it done, and then you can start on the other square, because usually I just knock out squares and there's ends hanging all over the place and it looks crazy, and then when you're done and you have to go weave in all those ends, it's a pain in the neck. So I decided to weave in my ends when I finish a square, and then it can be done. Another thing I've already decided I'm going to do is sometimes I don't block my squares, my granny squares. But this one, because it does involve these angles and you kind of have to line them up, I am going to block my squares, and I'm probably going to block them 10 at a time. That way, as I go, if I get a batch of 10, I'll go block them, you know, let those dry out, do another 10, and that way they're done. And by the time I can assemble the blanket, everything's done. I don't have to do anything additional. And so I think doing those steps as you go will be a time saver, energy saver. And again, I just started this pattern and I say all that, but I really want to try to do it because it's just it's a suck joy when you don't. Anyway, okay, let's talk about plans. So this last week of July, I'm going to work on my Granny Hobbies WIPGO pool, which was the Betty Ross pattern cross stitch. And I'm also going to work on God Rest You Merry Gentlemen until Wednesday. So I do my Christmas in July pools on Wednesday, and then my Granny Hobbies Sal is on Fridays. So that's the rest for July. So here are my plans for August. Okay, I'm so excited to start the Anne with an E cross stitch pattern by Teresa Koget. I bought it in March at Nashville. Well, I didn't go to Nashville, but I bought it for the Nashville Nashville Needleworks Market in March. She dropped it then, and I have always been an Anne of Green Gables fan since I was a tiny little girl. So I'm starting that one for my birthday. That's going to be my birthday stitch. And then I'm also obviously going to be doing the Blackbird Academy Sal that I talked about earlier. That's going to be starting in August. And then I have about 2 more pools for the Granny Hobbies Sal. And then those are for sure my plans for cross stitch. There are 2 other potential cross stitch starts that I might do in August. We'll just see, because I have one, a London one that I want to start. It's kitted up, it's ready to go. And then I have another tiny Queen Elizabeth piece. It's this size. So I just need that could be like done in a day or 2. So I might finish that way I could have my collage done. So we'll see about those 2. My plans for sewing is I'm going to quilt and bind that 9-patch quilt. I want to get that done. And we'll see about the strawberries. Send prayers. Send thoughts and prayers about that fabric. And then for crochet, I'm going to obviously be working on the class project Afghan that I'm teaching on. So that will be a big one. And then as I finish my books, I'm still working on my book cover thing. I don't know if I told you all about that, but basically I saw this idea last year from somebody that every book that they read, they did a granny square that reflected the cover of it. Let me show you if I can. I have here we go. So for example, oh my god, I can't tell you. So like all the books that I read in 2025 and the corresponding granny square that goes with it. And then here's 2026. There's still some gaps here, and I don't think I have all my books in here yet. So I'm gonna make a long duster, like a long sleeve like duster out of these crochet squares. That's just an ongoing thing. As I finish a book, I try to do the square and put it back in my thing. So those are probably the only 2 crochet things I'll work on in August. And I think that's it. Is that it? Yeah, so we'll see. Log cabin quilt. Oh, I'm reading these WIPGOs and I put what I want and I was like, what is that? I don't remember doing that. Anyway. Okay. Is that it? I think that's it. I'm also trying to scrapbook the last weekend of each month, and sometimes it happens and sometimes it doesn't. I had this idea or this goal to scrapbook at the end of each month that month's stuff. It's a great idea in theory. Life happens. You can't do it every weekend, or you can't do it the weekend you planned it. You know, you don't have all your pictures out, whatever. I went on a road trip with my mom to California in March of this year, and there's a lot of stuff that I want to scrapbook, but my scrapbook is already big. So I had a scrapbooking day with my mom and sisters a couple weekends ago, and I've changed some of my plans on that. But anyway, we'll see. I don't know. Scrapbooking is just really hard for me to do at home for some reason, because I feel like I don't have enough table space to put all my crap out. Maybe I should just do it on the kitchen table. That's what normal people do. Anyway, now I'm just chatting. Okay, let's talk about things that I have been reading, watching, enjoying, that kind of thing. So I'm currently reading 2 books right now. Little House on the Prairie, that's a hard copy book, or that's paper book that I'm reading. And then I'm listening to The Calamity Club. I think I'm about halfway through, maybe. It's a big one, and I like it. Me and my mom are actually doing a 250th reading challenge where you read a book of each era, you know, time history. Excuse me. Where you read a book in a certain era of American history. And The Calamity Club is going in my Great Depression era book. So I don't know why, but I've noticed that during the summer, I don't read as much as I usually do. And I don't know why that is. Maybe because the sun's out longer and I feel like I need to be outside or doing something like more. Anyway. Yeah, so I think that's the books. I've really been enjoying listening to Zara Lawson. And I love Olivia Rodrigo's new stuff she just came out with. Midnight Sun by Zara Lawson is my summer jam. There's a song called Dracula. I don't know who sings it, but that's my husband's summer jam. We always like to do the song of the summer for ourselves, and those are ours this year. What else? We're still watching the Star Trek series. We're on Discovery. Is that Discovery? Yeah, I think we're on Discovery now. We are slowly finishing Landman. We're on the latest season. It's a great show. Love that. What else are we watching? Oh, I just watched Broadchurch, which is a UK television show from like 2011, way back. I've heard about it, obviously. I mean, it's obvious to me. Maybe you don't know. I'm a British history scholar. I went to London. I've been to London a few times. I've done research there. Blah, 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 blah. Nobody cares. But I started watching Broadchurch because it's on Netflix, and that show is so good. If you like a crime, it's a crime show, but it's not like gory or like trauma. Like, it's not going to like make you have nightmares. Okay. So I finished the first season last night. Fantastic. What else have I been watching? We watched the first episode of Little House on the Prairie, the new one. It was great. I'm making my husband watch it because he used to be a logger man. What is it called? Lumberjack. When I first met him, he was a lumberjack, legit. We live in East Texas, and that's where all the lumber is. So he was a lumberjack, and I know he appreciate the Little House on the Prairie show because they show a lot of that hard manual work. So he likes it a lot. What other shows have we been watching? Oh, we watched the movie Master of the Universe on Friday night. I liked it. I like the superhero action movies. Okay, I always have. But I've never watched He-Man or I've never watched those. I mean, pop culture bits, but I've never seen the show. So John went with his brothers when it was in theaters, and he came home raving about it, how great it was. It's one of the best action movies, all that kind of stuff, like superhero movies, all that kind of stuff. And he was just like, it was just so good all around. And so it came out, I don't remember where we watched it, Amazon. And he first had me watch one of the older animated episodes to kind of get a baseline. And then we watched the movie, and it was really good, like shockingly good. I don't know why, but any movie that's not a Marvel movie, old school Marvel movie, I feel like is kind of cheesy. It was not cheesy. It was really well done. I would like an 8 or 9 out of 10. Like, it was really, really good. And it was just fantastic. So I highly recommend that. And then yesterday, John's watching, he really likes the Avatar, The Last Airbender. And I've watched it with him when he watches it. And their new movie, Aang, Avatar Aang, came out this weekend, and we watched that last night. It was really good. And we've been watching the live remakes and stuff, but those are the nerdy things that I watch by osmosis because my husband loves those shows and they're actually good. What else have we been watching? Oh, I started watching The Other Bennett Sisters on BBC. Oh, The Other Bennett Sister on BBC. I watched a few episodes of those. Pretty good. I like it. I like the character, the guy character. I forget his name, but he's in Young Sherlock as Moriarty. He's a great actor. I like him. I think that's it. I can't think of anything else as far as that. My obsession has been blueberry coffee. And I think that's it. And I hope you guys are having a great half end of your summer and staying cool and cold, hopefully. Here in East Texas, we're in the dead heat of summer. This is the hardest part of the summer, is my birthday. It's like in the hundreds, and it was rough. But I hope you guys are enjoying your summer, and those who are going to school or having people in your family going to school, I hope you soak up these last minutes because they're so much fun. And thank you so much for watching these videos. I know there might not be a lot of people that watch this, but I just really enjoy showing my crafty side, and I like watching other people show their crafty side as well. So thank you so much. If you wouldn't mind, I would really appreciate if you just like this video if you like it, and that alone is just takes 5 seconds and it does help me out a lot. So make sure, if you haven't followed me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, I put a lot of really fun, I try to put some fun stuff in there. I'll put those stuff down in the description box as well. And I think that's it. Y'all have a wonderful rest of your July, and I'll see you next time.